Pack your suitcase back up if you are planning to travel to any of these countries. Traveling is a fantastic way to discover new cultures and broaden your horizons. However, did you know that there are certain countries where Americans are simply not welcome? In this video, we'll take you on a journey through 10 countries that American citizens are better off avoiding. From political tensions to safety risks and visa restrictions, we'll explain why these countries are not the most hospitable destinations for Americans. Keep watching to find out which countries made the list and why they are off-limits for Americans. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it interesting, and subscribe to our channel. If you've ever visited any of these countries, share your experience in the comments below. Let's get started. Number 10. Cuba. Cuba, an island nation in the Caribbean, is known for its rich culture, music, dance, and historical landmarks. Despite these appealing attributes, Americans are not always welcome here due to a complex history of political tensions and diplomatic disputes between the United States and Cuba. Since the Cuban Revolution in 1959 and the subsequent nationalization of American properties, relations between the U.S. and Cuba have been hostile. The decades-long embargo imposed by the U.S. has severely limited economic and diplomatic ties. Although travel restrictions were somewhat eased under the Obama administration, they have tightened again under the Trump and Biden administrations. American citizens can only visit Cuba under specific categories such as family visits, journalistic activities, and educational exchanges. Americans wishing to visit Cuba must meet strict documentation requirements and cannot engage in tourist activities without approval. These rules make it difficult for American tourists to travel freely within the country. Number 9. Russia. Russia, the world's largest country, is known for its rich history, culture, and vast landscapes. However, American travelers might face difficulties here primarily due to political tensions and recent diplomatic developments. The relationship between the United States and Russia has been strained for years, particularly since Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the subsequent sanctions by the U.S. These political conflicts have led to mutual distrust. Russia has strict visa requirements for Americans. Obtaining a visa can be a lengthy and complicated process, often requiring extensive documentation and sometimes even a personal invitation. Americans visiting Russia may be subject to stringent monitoring and surveillance by the authorities, which can lead to uncomfortable situations and a sense of insecurity for travelers. Recent expulsions of diplomats and consulate closures have made access to consular services for Americans in Russia more difficult. This can be problematic in case of emergencies. Number 8. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a country with a rich history and breathtaking landscapes located in South Asia, is an extremely risky destination for American travelers due to the security situation and political instability. Afghanistan has been embroiled in conflict for decades, with the recent return of the Taliban to power in 2021. The ongoing fighting and political turmoil make the country extremely dangerous. The long presence of American troops and interventions in Afghanistan have led to strong anti-American sentiments. This can result in hostile reactions towards American citizens. There is a high risk of kidnappings, terrorist attacks, and violent incidents targeting foreigners, especially Americans. The U.S. Embassy in Kabul is closed, meaning consular assistance and emergency support are very limited or unavailable. Number 7. Venezuela. Venezuela, a country in South America known for its natural beauty, including the Andes, Amazon rainforests, and spectacular waterfalls like Angel Falls, is a challenging destination for American travelers due to the political and economic situation. Since the election of Hugo Chavez and later Nicolas Maduro, the political situation in Venezuela has been extremely tense. The government accuses the United States of attempting to change the regime and interfering in domestic affairs. The rhetoric of the Venezuelan government against the U.S. has led to increased anti-American sentiments among the population, making Americans less welcome. The severe economic crisis has led to high crime rates, shortages of basic necessities, and an unstable situation that can be dangerous for foreigners. The Venezuelan government has imposed strict visa requirements and restrictions on American travelers, making it difficult to legally enter the country. The closure of the U.S. Embassy in Caracas and the limited presence of American consular services make assistance in emergencies hard to obtain. Number 6. Somalia. Somalia, a country in the Horn of Africa known for its long coastline along the Indian Ocean and complex clan structures, is an extremely risky destination for American travelers due to ongoing violence and political instability. Somalia has experienced decades of civil war and political instability. Various armed groups, including Al-Shabaab, control parts of the country, leading to continuous violence and insecurity. Terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab specifically target foreigners, including Americans, with kidnappings, attacks, and assaults. The security risks are extremely high. Piracy off the coast of Somalia has been a significant problem, with attacks on ships and hostage-taking. This also makes coastal areas dangerous for visitors. The central government has limited control outside the capital, Mogadishu. Lack of effective governance makes law enforcement and the protection of foreigners challenging. There is minimal U.S. diplomatic presence in Somalia, meaning consular assistance in emergencies is very limited or unavailable. Number 5. Yemen. Yemen, a country in the southwest of the Arabian Peninsula known for its rich history, cultural heritage, and stunning landscapes, is one of the most dangerous countries in the world for travelers, especially Americans. Yemen has been embroiled in a devastating civil war since 2015 between Houthi rebels and Saudi-backed government forces. This war has caused massive destruction and a humanitarian crisis. The complex political situation and the involvement of foreign powers, including the U.S., have led to anti-American sentiments among various groups within Yemen. Terrorist organizations such as Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and ISIS are active in Yemen. They often target foreigners, including Americans, with kidnappings, attacks, and assaults. The U.S. Embassy in Sana'a has been closed since 2015, and there is minimal consular support available for American citizens in emergencies. Number 4. Libya. Libya, a North African country with an extensive coastline along the Mediterranean Sea and a rich history dating back to ancient times, is a risky destination for American travelers due to political unrest and safety concerns. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has been in a state of civil war between rival militias and governments. These ongoing conflicts have led to severe insecurity and chaos. Foreign travelers, especially Americans, are at high risk of violence, kidnappings, and attacks by armed militias and terrorist groups. The involvement of the United States in the 2011 intervention has led to negative sentiments towards Americans among certain Libyan groups. Obtaining a visa for Libya is extremely difficult for American citizens. Additionally, traveling within the country is highly dangerous and often impossible without military escort. The U.S. Embassy in Tripoli has been closed since 2014, meaning there is minimal consular assistance available for American citizens in emergencies. Number 3. Syria. Syria, a country in the Middle East rich in historical and cultural landmarks, is currently one of the most dangerous countries in the world for American travelers due to its ongoing civil war. Since 2011, Syria has been engulfed in a devastating civil war. The fighting between the Syrian government, opposition groups, and terrorist organizations has caused massive destruction and instability. The involvement of the United States in the conflict, both directly and indirectly, has led to strong anti-American sentiments among various parties in Syria. Terrorist groups such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda are active in Syria and frequently target foreigners, including Americans, with kidnappings, attacks, and assaults. Obtaining a visa for Syria is virtually impossible for Americans. The Syrian government generally does not grant access to American citizens. The U.S. Embassy in Damascus has been closed since 2012, meaning there is minimal consular assistance available for American citizens in emergencies. Number 2, Iran. Iran, a country in the Middle East with a rich history, stunning architecture, and deep-rooted culture, is one of the most challenging countries for American travelers to visit due to political tensions and diplomatic disputes. Since the Iranian Revolution in 1979 and the subsequent hostage crisis of American diplomats, relations between Iran and the United States have been extremely tense. These tensions have escalated in recent years over Iran's nuclear program and economic sanctions. Americans can only visit Iran as part of an organized tour with a government-approved guide. Spontaneous travel is not possible, and obtaining a visa is a complicated and lengthy process. American visitors are often subjected to strict scrutiny and surveillance by Iranian authorities. This can lead to uncomfortable situations and a sense of insecurity. The official rhetoric of the Iranian government is often strongly anti-American, which can result in hostile attitudes from certain segments of the population towards American citizens. The United States does not have an embassy in Iran, and consular services are provided through the Swiss embassy in Tehran, which limits access to assistance in emergencies. Number 1, North Korea. North Korea, officially the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, is an isolated and tightly controlled country in East Asia. Known for its strict regime, military parades, and monumental architecture, it is one of the least accessible countries in the world, especially for Americans. North Korea has a highly closed society under the rule of the Kim dynasty. The government controls all aspects of daily life and strictly monitors all foreign visitors. The relationship between the United States and North Korea has been very hostile since the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. Recent missile tests and nuclear ambitions of North Korea have further increased tensions. In 2017, the U.S. government imposed a travel ban on American citizens traveling to North Korea after several incidents where American citizens were arrested and detained. Americans visiting North Korea are at high risk of arrest for alleged crimes such as espionage or violating local laws. Convicted Americans can face long prison sentences under harsh conditions. There are no American diplomatic representatives in North Korea. Consular assistance is provided through the Swedish embassy in Pyongyang, which severely limits access to help in emergencies. That was our list of the top 10 countries where Americans are not welcome. We hope you found it informative and interesting. Traveling can be a great way to explore the world, but it's always important to be aware of local rules and safety advisories. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Do you have suggestions for future videos? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future adventures.
Hey!